From Montana's news leader, this is the MTN 530 News.
Good evening, everyone. Coming up on tonight's MTN 530 News, the sound of music. From a mandolin to banjo, we head to Bridger for a musical trip around the world. Plus, it's time to rev those engines. Dozens of vintage vehicles are headed to the Magic City. We'll get you ready for the Montana Classic Car Auction. And as a 20-year war ends and a 20-year anniversary approaches, we check in with the Montana VA to find out what's being done to support our veterans during this difficult time. Thanks for joining us. I'm Jeanelle Slade. Those stories this Thursday, but first, a closer look at Montana's progress to find and fill jobs. Governor Greg Gianforte says Montana wants to attract workers into the labor force, and through the summer tourism months, that's happened. The state employment rate is sitting at 3.6%. The governor says the numbers are good, with more than 3,000 jobs added in the month. When it comes to the food service industry, hit hard by the pandemic, the governor says there's strong growth, with 2,900 new jobs added in July.
With Montana's unemployment rate holding steady, I'm checking in on Montana Governor Greg Gianforte's promise to dole out cash to Montanans looking to re-enter the labor force after pandemic-related unemployment benefits were canceled. Numbers for the $1,200 return-to-work bonuses are updated every Friday. So let's take a look at them. In all, 3,216 applications have been submitted for this program. So far, 506 people are approved, 305 denied. So that means that some 2,400 people still have not been adjudicated, and that's according to those of the Department of Labor. They say that means those individuals are still in the process of completing the 4 weeks of employment necessary for the bonus pay. Let's take a look at who's getting paid out what. Well, Yellowstone County has had the most applications with 420, but it's Gallatin County that's received the greatest number of bonuses to the tune of some $93,000. Okay, so that might make you scratch your head a little bit, but this might help. It turns out 184 people making between $15 and $20 an hour were paid out the largest amount of return to work bonuses, of course, by hourly pay. In all, a total of $600,000 has been distributed to Montanans. In Billings, Andrea Lutz, MTN News.
With 12 Yellowstone County deaths, August proves to be the deadliest month on the COVID-19 front since February. Now, the county has lost 297 residents to the virus since the pandemic began, while more than 1,800 Montanans have died. Well, today alone, the state reported 738 new cases, with Yellowstone County once again leading the way at 124. The county now sits at more than 1,000 active cases. 258 people are hospitalized at this hour after adding 45 new patients in the last 48 hours. We're now joined by Chief Meteorologist Ed McIntosh. There's a possibility of showers and storms tonight, Ed.
That's right. There's continuing to move up from Wyoming, and we're already seeing some pretty heavy rain off into the Dakotas. Stronger storms, especially down to the Bighorns in southeastern Montana, but it's our best chance of picking up some rain showers overnight heading in toward tomorrow morning. Here's what we can show you now. Some of those storms already bringing some very heavy rain into the central portions of North Dakota, but watch that system down into Wyoming. It starts to creep up our way as we get in through the evening hours, and will continue to pull some moisture across the eastern plains. Some stronger storms possible in eastern Wyoming by tonight. Take a closer look at that and the rest of the weekend forecast coming up.
We're here at the Metro Park Expo Center, where they're setting up for the Classic Car Auto Auction for the first time on Labor Day weekend in several years. They have bidders here locally as well as from all over the world.
We'll have cameras up on the auction stage. We'll have a big screen, and we're actually broadcasting the auction live through ProxyBid. We'll actually be putting it out on our Facebook page as well this year. And people are able to bid live wherever they happen to be in the country, or in the world for that matter. Yeah, I was just talking with a gentleman over in Australia, as a matter of fact, yesterday. He called. We've got some real nice first-generation Camaros in the auction this year. Very popular muscle car. And those are very popular overseas, New Zealand, Australia, Europe. They like the American muscle cars.
The 10th annual Classic Car Auction features about 100 classic vehicles. Along with Burn the Point, more than 500 cars could be at Metro Park on Saturday. Last year, the Classic Car Auction Group held its auction at its lot on 1st Avenue North.
We're back together with Burn the Point for really probably the largest car event in Montana on an annual basis. People are drawn to the mechanics, people are drawn to the build, people are drawn to the history of what these cars were for them at an impressionable age. So oftentimes the cars that we like to have maybe are cars that we had while we were in high school. You know, everybody enjoys that time when they were a freshman, junior, senior, or whatever in high school. You know, some people do it from a financial investment standpoint. It's not work. It really isn't. It's just a lot of fun. There's so much going on, but I wouldn't trade it for anything. It's just a lot of fun to play cars.
The Classic Car Auction starts Saturday at 11 a.m. at the Metro Park Expo Center. The Burn the Point Car Show on the fairgrounds has the gates open at 8 a.m. Saturday. In Billings, David J., MTN News.
The Bridger Public Library is holding a concert titled Around the World in 30 Instruments to help enrich the community.
Is an opportunity that some of these children will never see. They've never seen a sitar. They've never seen some of the instruments that they will bring, or a hammered dulcimer, or things like that. And music to me is essential, as is reading.
The duo, called 4 Shillings Short, travels across the country playing music on varying instruments. Their shows are educational, and those at the library hope the experience will show the community the value of the arts.
To bring community to the community, and an interactive educational experience that is also entertainment and fun-hearted. I think that's going to be probably one of the biggest benefits of this concert.
The revenue from the concert will go towards supporting the library and their everyday operations.
I'm a huge proponent for education, and libraries just continue that so it's lifelong. It may be not just books, but it's computers, it's research, it's help in the community, it's community development, it's entrepreneurial stuff. Libraries can provide all of that. Libraries are important.
The concert, along with a book sale, will be held on Wednesday the 15th. In Bridger, Brandon Warren, MTN News.
Did you know 64% of Montana's 4th graders are not reading at the proficient level? I'm Victoria Hill, and that's why we're collecting donations to put more books in the hands of children with our annual If You Give a Child a Book campaign. A study by Reading is Fundamental shows if a child grows up in a home with 100 books, there's a 90% probability they'll complete the 9th grade, compared to 30% in bookless homes. We partner with local Title I schools, as they're often overseen when it comes to national reading initiatives. Principal at this year's partner school, Ponderosa Elementary, says he believes each and every single student at his school can succeed.
I'm a huge believer that an address doesn't define what you're able to learn in your education by any means. So this does open up an opportunity for families that might not have the finances to have the books for their children. It's going to be a huge bonus to their education and help them be more successful in life.
Donating is as easy as visiting KTVQ.com. There's a big banner at the top of the page right now. You can't miss it. In Billings, Victoria Hill, MTN News. Still to come on your MTN News, more veterans are reaching out to seek mental help over the last week. We'll let you know what's being done to make sure America's heroes are supported.
The MTN 530 News continues right after this. From Montana's news leader, you're watching the MTN 530 News.
The swift collapse of the Afghan government and the Taliban's takeover has some veterans struggling. MTN's Jordan Johnson checked in at the Montana VA to find out what help is available.
The Montana VA says that they have an increase in calls from veterans as the war in Afghanistan ends and the 20th anniversary of the attacks of 9/11 approach.
Everyone is talking about it. It's on a lot of veterans' minds, and don't feel like you're alone with that. And it's okay to talk about it and get real with what's going on inside of you.
Janie Hall, peer support specialist in primary care, is a veteran herself. She compared the United States withdrawal from Afghanistan to the withdrawal from the Vietnam War.
The parallels between Afghanistan and the pullout in Afghanistan and the Vietnam War it's very parallel. Anything, as I know for myself, there are things that trigger me that didn't even have to do with me in my time overseas. It's real.
Hall says that the support groups that the Montana VA offers for veterans are there to support not just those who served in Afghanistan, but every single service member and vet.
If you're struggling with something or being challenged with triggers and your past traumas, regardless if you're Korea, Vietnam, World War II, Afghanistan or Iraq, Persian Gulf, it does not matter. We're here to help you and support you.
The Montana VA Healthcare Center at Fort Harrison says veterans are also calling because they are struggling with the recent surge in coronavirus cases.
We have noticed an uptick in veterans seeking help to discuss the situation in Afghanistan, along with the COVID is now increasing again.
Hall reminds vets that their feelings are valid and that the first step of recovery is talking to someone, including other veterans.
These concerns are valid. And the more we can talk to each other and rely on each other as veterans, the more we're likely we're going to move forward in our recovery, feel better, and be happy. Our mission, your mission as a veteran, is to stay alive.
She says veterans should remember that they are never alone.
We need to get the word out to veterans that you're not alone. You're not alone in your thoughts and feelings, your concerns, and VA Montana, VA in general, is here to support you. Please reach out and talk to us.
On Thursday, September 2nd, the Montana VA is holding a Helena area support group for veterans at 5 o'clock in the rec hall at the VA Center. It is a meeting for veterans to talk to one another and support one another. Masks are required to attend the event. In Helena, Jordan Johnson, MTN News.
Coming up in weather, Ed says some rain is headed this way. He has your full forecast right after this.
Hi everybody, Scott Breen at Billings Central. No size, no problem for the Lady Rams. I'll explain straight ahead in sports.
The MTN 530 News continues right after this.